What's going on, everybody? Dr. Chad Woolner here with Dr. Andrew Wells, and this is episode 14 of the Laser Light Show. And on today's episode, we have with us special guests, Dr. Mark Burdorf and Henry Cejudo. And so we're really excited to really dig into this episode, talk about lasers and their application with Henry and his career in UFC and beyond. And so that being said, let's get to it.
Growing up in Portland, Oregon, I used to love going to laser light shows at the Oregon Museum of Science and Industry. They would put on these amazing light shows with incredible designs synced up to some of my favorite music. From the Beatles to Pink Floyd to Jimi Hendrix and Metallica, they were awesome. Little did I know then that lasers would have such a profound effect in my life decades later. As a chiropractic physician, I have seen firsthand just how powerful laser therapy is at helping patients struggling with a wide range of health problems. As the leader in laser therapy, Erchonia has pioneered the field in obtaining 20 of the 23 total FDA clearances for therapeutic application of lasers. On this podcast, we'll explore the science and technology and physiology behind what makes these tools so powerful. Join me as we explore low-level laser therapy. I'm Dr. Chad Woolner, along with my good friend Dr. Andrew Wells, and welcome to the Laser Light Show.
All right, we have with us Dr. Burdorf and Henry Cejudo. Welcome to the show, both of you. We're super excited to have you guys here.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if the name sounds familiar for any wrestling and MMA fan, you'll know the name Henry Cejudo. But I want to just point out the fact that he, I believe, was the youngest American wrestler to win the gold medal, and that was that was 2006. Is that right?
2008 in Beijing.
Right. Yeah, 2008, and then went on to a really great MMA career as well. And so I followed you when you were wrestling, and then loosely followed you in the MMA. And many people have said one of the greatest combat athletes of all time. So pretty impressive background. And today, obviously, we're going to be talking about with Dr. Burdorf how laser therapy has helped you with your physical health and overall health, and also performance in combat sports. And I just want to start off with the fact that stating the obvious, that when you're a wrestler and an MMA athlete, the amount of physical abuse that you put your body through, whether it's just from the rigorous training or from fighting, it puts an amazing amount of pressure and a huge toll on your body. You're still a young guy, but what I wanted to start off with, like, what is this? You're in amazing shape, obviously, but what is this career? What kind of impact has this career had on your physical body?
Well, it all goes back to, you've been being with Dr. Mark for over the past decade. I think over 12 years in the making. And just the difference of having, somebody that understands, a neurologist / chiropractor that understands the game of lasers, or even, playing these certain games that are going to cornea my eyes, things of that nature. And obviously the sport that I do is rigorous on my brain. I want to say I don't get hit enough, but I get hit. So that being said, it's like you gotta use technology and find the right engineers and the right resources. And I think that's really what's given me the longevity and the success that I have. It's pinpointing all of that, because, the lasers, man, they make a huge difference. And I'll go back and I'll talk about that. Dr. Mark brought his lasers. I had sprained my ankle when I was fighting. I went upper division, and that Monday night I had sprained my ankle fighting for a second UFC title. And they were just like, man, you're gonna have to pull out. I'm just like, oh, no. We had to find every type of resources to do it. So yeah, we use ice. But really what the difference was is when we started getting lasered on my left ankle. I just felt like that was like the biggest impact that really took me to a whole other level. It's just like, it's crazy to think of a laser that could just heal you within days. It wasn't 100%, but I was so much better than I was right after I got injured. So I think little things like that that we do with Dr. Mark. It's the proper adjustments, the consistency that when I was competing at the time, coming in with them. In conjunction with the laser, it's just like it's a synergy that I think people tend to miss out. The technology portion of what it actually brings. And I can tell you, I'm a testament of the lasers and being able to win a second UFC belt.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. And Dr. Mark, so you have advanced training in neurology. We're working with Henry. Are you working with him from just an injury standpoint, or are you also working with him from a neurology standpoint on like speed of reflexes and optimizing neurology to make sure that he's performing at a high level, or both of those?
Yeah, I mean, we in neuro rehab, I mean, I do less and less chiropractic. I do a lot more neuro rehab. It was all about, side note, doing eye exercises, balance exercises. And, myself also kind of like, science projects or guinea pigs, because just that fight when he beat Moraes for the second title UFC. So he sprained his ankle, and they always say if you have God, you got a friend. Well, if you got Dave Zoline as a friend, it's pretty close second. And Dave got on the phone with me, and he had one of your handlers from from Neuroforce One come. And it's one thing I came up with the protocol of lasering frequent several times a day, and we basically lasered Henry. He picked up a laser Tuesday night and got it to Chicago. And I came in on Friday and, took over. But they were lasering him like every 3-4 hours around the clock. And that's how, Heather Linden, an amazing physical therapist, she taped him and everything. But I had nightmares the last couple nights. I saw Henry going to do a kick and watching his left ankle buckle and boom. And when Henry came out and he won, and his previous fight when he fought Dillashaw, he destroyed him in 32 seconds. I never heard from Henry. And Sunday morning after Moraes' fight, he calls me up at 8 a.m. and he goes, "Can you come work on me?" And I worked on him all day. And I had to go home about 6 o'clock that night. And he came home the following Wednesday and he goes, "Did I see you on Sunday?" So they put him in a laser protocol for his concussion. And so we put him back together. And, it's been a fun run. And looks like it's going to start all over again, huh?
Yeah, especially like that, and that's the edge. And this is what Dr. Mark has here. It's the edge of being able to combine those two components. The neurology with the chiropractic work. And I think it goes hand in hand. I don't think you can just have one without the other. At least I don't know. I'm a bit spoiled on Dr. Mark, so I'm I understand what the quality is.
Yeah.
It's the longevity of what it gives me, because like I said before, like I'm a good speaker. I can speak. It's just for that same reason that I've been able to take care of the neurology portion up here. So, this is where you get credit.
Yeah, I would imagine that this is a really challenging area to navigate for a lot of high-level athletes, in that you go down the supplement route, and that can create all sorts of problems unintentionally because of all the various banned substances and things like that performers may not even know about and are aware of. And so finding how to be able to recover faster and optimize your performance without running into any of those potential problems. I mean, I know that like the TJ Dillashaw fight, for example, after the fight, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember hearing something about he had gotten tested and found that he had had some performance enhancing substances in his system. And so I would imagine that this is a really powerful way for you to kind of navigate those waters safely, right? So you can really make sure that you're optimizing your performance without having to worry about any of those potential concerns that could come up in those other areas, correct?
No, 100%. I think a lot of people, a lot of fighters in particular, they don't focus enough on recovery.
Yeah.
Like this recovery, like the lasers, like the chiropractic work, like that's the real recovery. You know what I mean? Like it's not about just working hard. Like you got to maintain that Ferrari accordingly. You can't just throw 100,000 miles on it and not change the oil.
Absolutely.
So you have to be able to have the ability and just have the vital and the right engineering to take it to that extent. Just like the concussion portion, like that's part of my IQ.
Yeah.
Like when Doc said it, dude, I thought it was on Sunday. Did I talk to you? Like, he's like, you got to come in. So, you know, coming in and doing that, but not just me, but a lot of like my mentor, Dave Zolwine, a lot of fighters that caught on to this whole therapy, laser therapy stuff that makes a huge difference. I remember I had a bump foot. I think it was after one of my fights, and I was just able to just pinpoint it there with the laser. Just within 3 sessions, foot came back to normal, where I wasn't like limping or anything like that.
That's
and it's
amazing.
crazy because you can see the progress like immediately. You know, which is not, you know, it seems surreal at times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why, like, my big was my ankle when I second fight, being able to at least move, have the ability to move around. Where it was, I had a full, I don't know if it was a high ankle sprain. You remember what it was?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's, you know, we owe a lot to, you know, to the process of technology.
And I imagine with the recovery work that you do, does this allow you to work out harder when you're fully recovered and prepare better for fights?
Oh, 100%. So by the time I was in fight camp, I was probably seeing Dr. Mark at least maybe a couple to a few times a week, depending on you know, the fight or how my body was feeling. And of course, if I can, but there's also like a process set in place, because I don't always want to spike, because that can also lead to injury. So there's a way where is it that you should peak, where you're not just spiking. You know, there's only about 2 spikes per week that we always tend to do. And after we spar, we do that. That's when we should be hit up with lasers, because that's the point in time where we probably took a little bit of blows that could affect us throughout the week. So it's always important to, hey, now I gotta go here. This is the first thing I should do after I get done sparring, because man, it's like you get into these, you can get into these mini car wrecks that, you know what I mean? It happens like twice a week, or at least once a week. We're just like, if you don't, you know, you could be salvaged. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm not a car, but you can beat you that point. So it's like,
Well,
you know, so there's a way to spike it. I think it's also important, obviously, having like the right, I call them engineers, your trainers, your training partners, making sure that everybody's giving the exact same simulation look with the opponent you're going to fight, and making sure you're peaking. So it's also adding a physiologist, you know, someone that can really also pinpoint your schedule while you're adding the infrared saunas in there, and the therapeutic type strength conditioning, you know, where you're not so much focused on power. And I just feel like that's where a lot of people are missing it, but don't have the edge. And you know, this is why we have a great team. This is why we're able to bring world championships to, you know, to Scottsdale, Arizona.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
And, you know, Henry, you brought up a really good point. I want to go back to this. You talked about long-term brain health, and I can't help but think about Muhammad Ali, who took so many shots to the head as a boxer, and other people who are in combat sports, or people who are professional football players, college football players, high school wrestlers, high school football players that do so much damage just from these repetitive car accidents right to the head. What are you looking, do you have a game plan, or are you kind of looking forward, like what does your health look like 10, 20, 30 years from now, so that you can, you know, maintain your health and enjoy your life that you've worked so hard for? Like what does that long-term maintenance look like for you?
I feel good. This is the same reason why I'm coming back. I know Doc doesn't want me taking hits. He'd be happy if I never came back. And that means a lot to me, because we've done a lot. And but at the same time, I was like, I'm so healthy, and I am in my prime. I think there's a way where we can do this again. And you know, I'm able to, you know, I have a family now, so it's like the motive is a little different now. Like now it's, you know, my wife loves to shop. Shop till she drops.
Well, here's the great thing. It's like, what I feel sorry for is Muhammad Ali. He never had the opportunity to have laser. And the cool thing is when Henry's get injured, I see him right away afterwards. So rather than the people, and there's a lot of people my age that took some shots in their 20s and now they're brain dead in their 50s. And so that's the cool thing, that the sooner you can address something after an injury, recovery chance goes way up. And like I said, we're trying to maintain his brain health to have a very long life after he decides to finally hang it up.
Yeah, it's a great point, Mark. And this was one of the reasons we were really excited to have Henry on the podcast, because I think it's so important for either doctors, chiropractors, or kids listening to this program that, if you're in a sport like Henry has performed at a high level or at any level, you definitely have to think, about brain health and nerve health long term, so that we don't end up. Degenerative nerve conditions are on the rise. It's getting worse. It's not getting better. And here we have such a simple technology like laser therapy that can have a huge impact on the quality of somebody's life long term. That's easy to do. That can be in the hands of almost anybody. And should be in the hands of anybody doing any kind of physical sport like what Henry's involved in. And so I think there's a good opportunity for you to be an advocate for brain health in the future. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say, it sounds like that's what's happening, Henry. It sounds like a lot of the other fighters are picking up on this technology as well. Do you see that evolving over the next 5-10 years, where this becomes kind of more mainstream and or standard for training camps?
100%. And I think we're a little bit ahead of our time, Doc.
Yeah.
In that sense, where the recovery, like even my strength and conditioning is, it's called Neuroforce One, like where it's pinpointed to science.
Yeah. And
with the lasers that Dr. Marks has here, constantly getting, lasers just everywhere, especially like near the brain. It's it's an edge, man, that I can only say that I'm just blessed, man. I'm just blessed to have the people around me that I hope other people could follow, because man, we do have life after sports.
Yeah.
We do have to be able to do interviews, be able to convey the message accordingly to you guys.
Yeah. It's clear that you're thinking way, way further ahead than probably many, if not most, are. And so that's amazing to hear that you've got
people could be playing. People are playing checkers, and we're just, we're playing 3D chess.
That's right. That's amazing. So, Henry, we know that you have a crazy busy schedule. Today is no exception to that. So we really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to be here with us. Any final thoughts, number one, and or number two, anything coming up that you want to share with anybody on the podcast in terms of exciting things going on with you?
Yeah. No, of course, final thoughts. I'm making a comeback. I'm going to be making a comeback, but my goal is to fight for a third bout, become the first 3-division champion in UFC history. That's my goal. And you guys find the right team. Find the right team. Have structure your training camp, and take it as far as the competition between you and yourself. And take care of yourself and have the right engineers. And find the edge in everything that you do, whether it's lasers, whether it's just ice baths, things of that nature. Understand understand how to peak whatever it is that whenever it is that you're doing anything. You can't just go. Like, there's a process to everything. So my biggest thing is what I take from one of the successes I've done is having the right team. Yeah, it's me out there fighting in the cage, but without Dr. Mark, without Dave Zolan, without my training partner, without my coaches, like a lot of this stuff probably wouldn't be possible.
That's amazing. Wonderful words of wisdom. I was going to say, I've trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and the one thing you'll learn about me is I am the mediocrest Jiu-Jitsu practitioner you'll ever meet in your life. That's my claim to fame. But the thing I was going to say in harmony with what you're saying is my instructor, that was his big soapbox, was making sure that when you train Jiu-Jitsu, you train for life. And so making sure emphasis is on proper technique, proper training. You're not exactly, like you said, going full bore all the time. That's just not a sustainable approach. And so making sure that you approach it strategically. And I love that analogy you use of playing chess when others are playing checkers, thinking down the road and really investing in your health, and especially in brain health. That's such a huge and I would say too that emphasis on being a thinking fighter is got to be huge for you. Really being an analytical fighter in terms that makes all the difference in the world for your performance. So absolutely incredible. We're rooting for you. We're super excited as you engage there in the ring. We're super excited about that. Anything you want to end with, Dr. Wells?
Just want to reiterate, thanks, Henry, for your time, and thanks for bringing your experience to the lives of other doctors. And Dr. Mark, you're amazing. Thanks for facilitating this and helping promote this technology, not just for athletes and fighters, but for everybody who needs this type of therapy. So thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody. All right. That's it, docs. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Hope you guys found this valuable. Super exciting to hear about Dr. Mark and what he's doing to really revolutionize things in the MMA world and for high-performance athletes. We appreciate Henry being here with us, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks for listening to the Laser Light Show. Be sure to subscribe and give us a review. If you're interested in learning more about Erchonia lasers, just head on over to erchonia.com. There you'll find a ton of useful resources, including research, news, and links to upcoming live events, as well as Erchonia's e-community, where you can access for free additional resources, including advanced training and business tools. Again, thanks for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode.